I'd like to call to order the October 17th Enfield Inland Wetlands and Watercourse Agency meeting. Roll call, please.
Donna Corbin-Sabinski,
Here.
Kevin Zorda,
Here.
Jim Higley here, Robert Chadwick,
Here.
Jane Smith,
Here.
Carrie Ann Howe,
Here.
Joseph Mueller.
Here.
See Joe. Great. And I'd like to see Joe for the meeting. Okay. Fire evacuation procedures. If there's an emergency and you need to leave the building, you can go out the door, back down the stairs and away from the building, or you could exit through the back of the room here and far out away from the building. Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh, that's a good catch. I've got that.
Thank you. Public participation next on the agenda. Is there anybody in the room that would like to talk to, regarding anything not on the agenda? Is there anybody in the room that would like to speak about something not on the agenda? One last roll call. Anybody want to speak regarding anything not on the agenda? Perfect. Moving forward, correspondence. We did receive the Habitat in our package for summer 2017. It's great, has great articles in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that page was good on the trees.
Oh, yeah. Next on the agenda is Commissioners' correspondence. To my left, ladies, any?
No?
Nothing from me.
To my right, gentlemen? Nope. Okay, moving forward. Approval of minutes, September 5th and September 19th.
I do have two corrections. The first one is on September 5th, the roll call. My name is spelled wrong, A-N-N-E. And on September 19th, in item B, number 2, application has a typo in it.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Did anybody else have anything? Ginny?
Oh,
Yes.
yes, sorry. On September 19th, I just had a couple things. Where am I? Oh, IW 582, the second point, BII. It's petty. It should say application.
Yeah.
But the other two that I had is on the second page, first paragraph, second line. It should say planning staff will walk the site with the contractor. That was my understanding. And also, one more thing. I noticed, and this was Commissioner Zorda, so he can jump in on this if he wants. But I thought when Roger was asked about the truck wash proposal, there was a little back and forth. And I must have missed it because it says, but it is the discretion of the staff whether they have to apply. And going to aquifer and going to planning and zoning does not obfuscate the need for going to wetlands if there's wetlands. So again, it's Kevin's call, but I just saw it. That's all I had.
Anybody else? Do you have any motions?
Motion to approve the minutes as amended.
Second,
Roll call, please.
Donna,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Ginny, yes. Robert,
Yes.
Jane,
I'm going to abstain because I wasn't at those meetings, although I did watch at least one of them online. I just can't remember which one.
okay. Carrie Ann,
Yes.
and Joseph.
Yes.
6 in
Okay.
favor, 1 abstain, motion passes. New business, IW 583, okay, new business, sorry. IW 583, 100 Print Shop Road, application for the expansion of a parking lot to accommodate trailer parking and the removal of a portion of an existing building in order to construct 2 new loading docks. WE 100 Print Shop Road, LLC owner applicant, map 99, lot 15, industrial 1, I1, zone, whatever. Gentlemen, ladies, could you please state your name and address for the record?
Good evening. I'm Daniel Limig with LRC Group, the civil engineer for the project. This evening, I have a couple folks with me. George Logan has delineated the wetlands on the project, and Pat and Rosa, they're representative owners or owner representatives. If hopefully we can answer whatever questions you might have. Do you want me to? I left that over there. I was going to point to it. I handed out some packets in an attempt to just more easily demonstrate what's changing on the plan. So I may reference that and get up and change it a little
That's
here
fine.
and there.
Oh,
Okay.
perfect.
Okay.
There'll be a microphone for you when you do go up over there.
Okay.
Make sure to use that.
Okay.
Do you have an extra packet of that stuff for planning staff?
Just one?
Yeah, just one for the file.
Okay.
Thanks.
Can you hear me?
Gotta make sure it's.
Right. How about now? No? Okay. Feel free, obviously, stop asking me questions as we go along. Hopefully the project, I believe, is pretty small overall and fairly straightforward. The parcel itself is pretty large. It's just over 49 acres. The disturbed area for the project is just over an acre, and the entire project is really focused on kind of the northwest corner of the building, and that's what's in color on the 11 by 17 handouts that we've provided you. The three areas that are changing or are improving on the project are there's an existing grass island in the very northwestern corner of the building. That is where the 7 new tractor trailer parking spaces are intended to go. This northwest corner of this bump out, that's also being renovated to include 2 new loading docks for tractor trailers. And then finally, this existing loading dock, there'll be some grading changes in here to make sure the elevations work when the tractor trailers actually back in. Those are the 3 areas and only the 3 areas that are changing with this project. I highlighted in yellow the 100-foot inland wetlands regulated area, just to demonstrate. Obviously, we're not disturbing wetlands with the project, but we are. We have disturbance within that regulated zone, which is why we're in front of you this evening. On the stormwater side, the only new impervious area that's associated with this plan has to do with the loss of that grass area there, and that's where the new 7 parking spaces are going. That's about 8,400 square feet of new impervious area. So to handle and meet the stormwater regulations for that area, the plan does propose a new stormwater detention and treatment facility. It's a storm chamber system that will be installed below grade just in front of this existing catch basin. There's no new catch basins proposed with this proposal. And all of the other areas stay exactly the same as far as impervious area, so there's no water quantity or water quality impacts. It's just that one area up there. Touching briefly on erosion and sediment control, just so the commission knows what's on the plan. Again, it's fairly straightforward. We're putting silt fence in along that back, just behind the back edge of pavement. And then obviously also providing catch basin silk sack protection at the 7 existing catch basins. Is everyone on the, if you're looking for the erosion and sediment control plan, it should reflect that.
Just share your map.
sorts of big plants, I mean, they're cumbersome, right? So that's really all for the erosion sediment control, the stormwater. I've tried to summarize the changes. There is one other thing I do need to point out to the commission. I do need to point out that we failed to notify the abutters on this project. So I know that the commission has the ability to waive that requirement. I know that may or may not be appropriate here.
It's not a public hearing, so you don't have to.
Okay. Good. I said it for no reason. But that's really the project. So I'm going to go back and sit down, and if there's questions, then.
Shut this up.
Just to clarify, you said you're putting an underground storm system in before that catch basin. You mean like you're talking the storm tech chambers for underground detention? It's just showing an arrow to a line. What is it, like the Vortec unit, or is it like, I'm not familiar with the storm tech SC 740 by name.
Yes. No, on this plan, for whatever reason, it didn't show the outline of it, but it's basically a rectangle. I can show you on that plan set if you really want to see it, but approximately, it's probably 20 feet long by 40 feet wide. It's an underground shallow system because of the high groundwater table that's on the site. So,
Do you have details on the system that's going in?
yeah,
Perfect.
yeah, that's
Was
fine.
it in there? I just missed it.
Stormwater. No.
How did I miss that when I was looking through this? Is it on the plan, or?
I thought he said it was in the stormwater.
Page 3. Drainage. Says drainage.
Is that what?
Yep, that's not, I was actually asking for details on the actual system being put in.
Okay.
Like spec sheets is what I was wondering if that was included.
Is that in there?
No. It would be labeled Storm Tech, because that's the brand they've listed.
It's gotta be somebody's phone.
So that's not it.
Well, I mean, it describes it in here. It says, just that an underground detention and isolator row is proposed to supplement the existing detention basin. I was just curious if, and it doesn't look like it, that if there was any spec sheets of the actual system being put in. Like, you've named Storm Tech, so that's a trade name.
Yes, proprietary, correct.
Right, so I would assume that there would be a spec sheet that goes with that could be, is what I was looking for, to see if that had been included, and,
I have
Yeah, just
information on the Storm Tech here if you'd like to see it.
I would
To be
like
honest,
to.
I'm not sure why I don't think there's anything on the plan that detailed, but we can get a cut sheet or a spec sheet for you.
I think that would be worth having in the file. I just was curious if there was any, because that leads into my next question would be, what the extra additional or what maintenance is required on that Storm Tech system for, ongoing future maintenance, like, the catch basins have to be cleaned out. How often does this thing, or does it need to get cleaned out for sediments and that kind of thing?
I'll answer, and I know George has probably put in a couple of these, and if I say something incorrectly, George can call me on it. But the way the system's set up is they have what they call an isolator row, which is intended to kind of treat the first flush where all the pollutants are supposed to be. And those are captured in that first row, and then they provide access that typically can be cleaned out by a vac truck. So that's typically, and frequency is really on a case-by-case basis. I don't know how
Sure.
much sediment is going to get in there every year or every 2 years.
George Logan for the record. Typically what the manufacturer, you probably will see it in there, what they recommend is that there's an inspection on a regular basis for the first year to see how the system responds to the load. And based on that, then they can have a maintenance procedure, which would be a minimum of once a year.
Right. That's kind of what I was expecting. So you said that it's gonna be about 20 by 40. How many rows, like this is showing the different rows of the system, how many rows is that? That it's sort of the water winds its way through? Well, this is what I was looking for. Oh, it's got 4 rows, okay. There it is, yeah, in available storage. Does anybody else want to see the,
Yes, please.
this before I send it back? I'm sorry, did you want to see?
GD1.
I only skimmed over the top.
Sounds like you found it, but there's 4 rows, yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Is everything that's up here, is that all in your plan set that you gave to us to begin with, the one you submitted with your application?
Those should be taken directly from the plan set.
Okay, I'm just making sure. Do you guys have business cards at all, just so that we can have your information for the minutes when you get a chance?
I wonder if they put my reports in part of the submission package, is that?
That is the summary drainage report, I believe.
Yeah.
Just looking at the wrong stuff, but I looked at home.
I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Donna, but some of the previous approvals on this lot had required snow plans for their, for the property, and I don't believe those ever got put on there. What is the intention for maintenance or maintaining snow piles in the winter and plowing for this area? Because, you know, one of those permits I know was to put up no snow piles areas for the pond areas.
I looked at the correct one at home and I didn't see it. It doesn't mean it's not there, but I didn't see it.
Whatever they are now, they're gonna continue to be, but we don't know what they are.
I think Donna, you and I are the only ones that were on the board when those other permits came through, but I'm trying to remember where we had talked about putting the snow piles. And if that wasn't in that corner that they're now taking out, was it?
Yeah, I don't remember.
I think so.
It might have been, though. In which case, we would need a new plan for where the snow would be piled during the winter.
And obviously, I can't go into
Do you know how old that plan is? I have to admit, I'm pleading ignorance on that at the moment, so.
It's 2015, I believe, is when they were received in the town.
This is 12, 14.
Yep,
Yep,
2015.
May 12th, 2015.
I don't think they ever made it onto the plans that we received. It was one of the conditions of approval.
Should say like northwest corner if it's in the conditions of approval.
Yeah.
Just, which one was it that I was just reading? Well, we have no snow signs must be placed along the detention pond side of the parking area, and also add a note to the plans indicated that snow piles not to be stored over top of the catch basins. We never put a condition on where they were going to be located, just places that they could not be located, as far as the conditions, because that's easier.
Right.
Yeah, you might want to get a copy of that approval so that you'll know where not to put things.
All right, so we could get a
This
copy
is
of
the
that
approval
plan.
from.
No, just the approvals.
Yeah.
This is the one I'm looking at right now is IW 563 parking lot expansion at 99 Print Shop Road. Where's the date? June 16, 2015. Sorry, couldn't find it. 16, 2015. And there was 4 special conditions of approval on that one, along with our 13 regular or standard conditions.
This is March. We did something in March,
I wish your liaison
Remember.
was on me all the time.
So I don't know if you guys can get him a copy of that.
We can provide you with a copy of the old approval.
Because again, the concern is just to make sure that snow piles aren't piled right into the detention pond area, because you don't want all that salt and sand, whatever gets put on the paved areas when it's shoveled up into your detention area.
Right, so there's nothing on the new plan that's in violation of the special conditions right, so it's all the same, as long as they still, abide by those, we should be good.
Correct,
So
yes.
I will get a copy, and then we can figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah, I mostly just wanted to make sure you were aware of
Thank you.
the old permit conditions that were on that still apply to this site, so, and again, because I wasn't sure if that grass area that is being taken away was one of the areas that had been used or potentially was used for snow piles, because it is a grass area, would be a good place for it, but no, there's trucks there.
Well, I can also tell you, look, comparing aerial photographs between 2016 and the earlier one, the area that you were concerned about putting next to the detention pond, which was open, is not quite vegetated. So I don't think they can get back there.
Yeah, so actually, they have to,
We're gonna plow that whole.
they gotta plow this whole area now, so now we're gonna,
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you guys want, you can add a condition of approval saying that the conditions from the previous applications roll over onto this one, just to make sure.
that makes sense. Was there any other conditions on that other one too? Because I was just looking at that first one. The bigger one. Might as well get those into the record too. Yeah, the other permit is dated March 26, 2015, is IW 562. And it just has 11 general conditions of approval and 1 special condition of approval, which is silt fencing be installed in the area where basketball court is being removed, which is not applicable to what you guys are doing, so. The rest of them, again, is our standard conditions, so they would apply anyway.
One would hope.
So, that was what I read, that was when I read out, yeah. That was in the first.
Jen, is this going to planning and zoning or not?
I don't think so.
Okay.
We didn't get there yet.
Well, it would make a difference. You know,
yeah.
I would have to abstain from this if it was going to planning and zoning. It's okay. I'll abstain, just to
Okay,
be safe.
just to be safe, yeah.
Anybody have any questions, concerns, comments?
Jennifer, you put in your memo that there was a stormwater maintenance plan included for a maintenance plan for the detention system was provided. Was that just in the notes? Because I didn't see that in my package, and I don't know if I'm just not remembering
Your-
reading it,
yeah,
or.
Your memo, second paragraph,
Right.
third line down.
Fred's maintenance plan.
Which is why I was asking about it, 'cause I didn't see. And I'm just flipping through the notes. I don't remember it being in the notes. Oh, erosion, no, that's erosion control.
How's our no-mow area doing?
Where is the no-mow area again?
Pardon? Yeah,
That's the conservation.
that's the conservation area, yes. Yeah. Yeah. I think so. Yeah, I didn't. Well, if there isn't one, we could have them provide one if we don't find a,
Well, I would.
yeah.
My recommendation was just that it's a condition of approval that a maintenance plan, like
Yeah.
quick verbiage to, as they already indicated, that for manufacturer recommendations of monitoring during the first year and to determine how often sediments, what the sediment loading will be.
Yeah,
I
it
don't
should be on the
think, I don't
plan.
think that we need to do anything above and beyond what the manufacturers are suggesting. It's a typical system that's used for this kind of stormwater
Yeah.
function. So.
Yeah.
Well, if I'm looking at the calculations, it looks like, yeah, that it should be sufficient for the additional impervious area. That's what the model says.
You're right.
Well, the important thing is that from a water quality perspective, the isolated row has to be the water quality volume. So when that happens, I'm happy.
Exactly.
Okay.
No, the underground systems are actually nice because there isn't as much maintenance as required as like
Sure.
a detention basin or something like that, because it's all underground and it is, you don't have mowing issues, you don't have.
What about the sand and salt and stuff?
Yeah. And they have.
Well, that's what he was talking about, that first row is sort of like, it's done in rows, so the water goes through it. And, so there's a way to clean up that first row. The remaining ones generally don't need to get cleaned.
Engineering summary report.
It's like a 4-bay in a pond.
Yeah.
I knew I saw it somewhere. I read this and I was trying
Sorry,
to
it took
figure
me a while
out
to remember
quickly
where it
that.
was, but
Did you find it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, so I've got the maintenance as Appendix A in the engineering summary report.
Oh, maybe that's because mine was upside down and I was getting confused. No, wait, that's the construction one. That's C.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve IW number 583, 100 Print Shop Road, application for the expansion of a parking lot to accommodate trailer parking and the removal of a portion of an existing building in order to construct 2 new loading docks. WE 100 Print Shop Road LLC owner applicant. With our standard conditions and the additional special conditions that we receive a copy of the product info sheet for the Storm Tech system, including the maintenance, rolling over any previous special conditions as well.
And they
Second,
should,
oh, sorry.
they should also, I would recommend putting in the actual footprint of the
Oh,
storm
on
tech
the
system on the
plan,
site
yes.
plan, so that
Yeah,
that's
maybe-
filed with the
yeah,
town,
so-
so that, any future use, there's a record of where exactly it is.
Okay, so including updated plans with that specification on there.
Those three things.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Donna,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Virginia abstain, Robert,
Yes.
Jane,
Yes.
Carrie Ann,
Yes.
Joseph.
Yes.
6 in favor, 1 abstain, motion passes. I think I got it right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much,
Thank
gentlemen
you.
and ladies. Okay. Next on the agenda is reports of any officers and committees. Seeing none. A report from the planning director. Jennifer?
You received One Peerless Way, the application for that. So I guess that will be,
Oh, gentlemen?
Oh.
Your,
Gentlemen?
your,
Sir?
your,
I was gonna wait for it. I was gonna let you guys finish and then.
Well,
we do, but,
okay.
okay, sorry.
So One Peerless Way will be on the next agenda. Other than that, that's the only application we have in right now. We're still waiting to hear from the Metro Park property, Metro North, yeah. And apparently they reached out to Roger today and said they'll be in this week, so we'll see.
On that note, our next regular meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, November 7th, which is election night. So I think we need to cancel that meeting.
Okay.
And we could either have a special meeting, or meet the following week, or pick another day, or, I don't want to drag it out too long,
Wednesday.
because we have the application before us.
Prefer a Wednesday.
Yeah,
Maybe Wednesday, the next day, is that accept?
yeah. Do next day? Possibly.
Can we do the next? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. If that works, we can schedule that. If that works, we can schedule that for you.
Okay. So it'd be scheduled as a special meeting then?
Yeah, it would be special, yep.
Glad you caught that, because I wouldn't have been here.
Yeah. November 8th. Okay.
Some of the actions we have going on.
Yeah, do we have any updates from anybody, or from Rick or anything? No?
They, I believe 33 Post Office has appealed the decision on that application.
As expected.
Yeah, that's really it.
Powder Hill Sand and Gravel?
That's still, I believe that's under cease and desist still for, from you guys. And they haven't come back to us to work with us on anything, so, I'm not sure if Rick has met with them at all. Since then, I don't believe so. They haven't been in our office, so.
Yeah, because activity still continues there, so I don't know if it's something where we need to
Okay.
put along.
Yep. I'll pass that along to Rick and have him address that.
In his spare time.
Maybe we want to get it onto our next agenda and
Have Rick
have
come in
them-
and visit us?
Yeah.
have them come say hi.
Okay.
And I know Tarno's on South Road is cleaning up and
Yeah.
looks nice, looks better.
Yep.
So that's good. Okay. Next on the agenda is old business, which we have none. I do want to say, today is possibly Joe's last meeting. As many of you may know or not, he is running for town council, and I wish you luck.
Luck.
You know, if you get elected, it's a lot of work, a lot more work than here. But all the people that are running, it's a lot of work campaigning. I know I've done it, and Yeah, and getting on the Board of Ed and the Town Council is a lot more work, is a lot of work, and I appreciate everybody who puts their name in to do that. Yeah, so good luck to you. Okay, we will miss you if you get elected. If not, you're
But we
still
know
with
where
us.
you live if we have questions or
You
complaints.
can always come visit.
That's right. Okay, seeing that, and I guess we have,
I move we adjourn.
I will
Okay.
second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned.